Hello people, and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines Modular Builds. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. This is the first modular build episode I've recorded after we hit 1,000 subscribers, so thank you for that milestone. There was a 500 subscriber special that went up on the channel on Friday, so if you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. We had a nice little time ranking the Cities Skylines DLCs. But we are back in the modular build map again, and this place is turned out really nicely. The green commercial park is nice and busy here. There's trams serving people, coming on and off the public transport methods, and people moving in between all this lush green commercial stuff, and it's starting to look really nice. I do really like this green commercial park. This is one of the first modular builds we did, so if you want to go ahead and build this, go ahead and check out the playlist in the description below. Last modular build we worked on the monorail leisure commercial park. We had some great feedback on this, so thanks for all your comments. We had a suggestion of flipping the one-way systems so they flow against each other. That's a great idea. I really should have done that. And also some suggestions on the public transport method. You know, some people aren't the biggest fan of monorails, but you know, these templates are there for you to switch out what you want, and you know, you can use a tram here if you like. It's really up to you. What you want to use. I just use the monorail because I do like the monorails. I think they look really cool. But thanks for all the feedback. I do appreciate you guys getting involved in this. And whereas this one's kind of a little bit maybe over the top with the monorail and kind of all the parks and stuff, in today's modular build we're going to be kind of returning to basics and doing something nice and simple that looks really nice. So obviously people without the DLC can still build this. They'll just have to switch out a couple of different transport methods and buildings that we're going to use, but for this particular build, the way I'm going to build it, you will need snowfall, park life, and campus. Campus really isn't essential. It's just because I'm going to be placing the public library, so feel free to switch that building out for any kind of other service building that you have. Okay, so how I'm going to implement this into the city. So we built our low density neighborhood right here. You know, this is fine. This is working nicely. However, my suburb just kind of ends here. You know, your suburbs will end at some point, and it's just kind of a very straight road and a very abrupt end to the town. So we're going to kind of break up that pattern. You could carry on expanding it out in perfect grid form. You know, that's totally fine. It works. And it's a good way to get lots of population into a small area. But we're going to break it up today with a school park, which are always nice to build. So I'm going to use the 4-lane road with decorative grass, and I'm going to place this alongside my suburb here. Now I want to place it so I leave 4 tiles in between the edge of the suburb and this new road. So you see there's 4 tiles in between right there, and you can tell that just by the darker inner blue circle of your road tool. You want to make sure that that's on the edge of these tiles along here. So right there. If we did it there, it would be 1 too deep. And if we did it kind of here, it would be 1 too shallow. So right on the edge, and that's going to give you a nice little row. Okay, so I'm going to come out by a measurement all the way up to the end of 280. And I'm also going to draw it up to here as well. So the measurement of this road will depend where you're placing it. I'm just going to have it parallel perfectly to my suburb road here with 4 tiles in between, and that's going to give us a nice start. Now, with the Snowfall DLC, we obviously get access to trams, and I'm going to hook this build into my existing tram network. So currently the tram network runs from here to here, which is very small. So I'm going to come ahead and upgrade this out right now. So you can see this is our existing tram network, and I'm going to upgrade these roads here all the way up to here, just so the tram line ends right there. Now obviously this part will depend on what public transport method you want to implement into this particular build, so do that accordingly. And then now we have the tram line dead, so I'm going to come ahead and grab my tram track and hook this into the main road that we just built right there. And then I'm going to switch to my 2-lane road with tram tracks. I'm going to come out by a distance of 700, which is 10 tiles. And then from that, I'm going to switch to small roads, and I'm going to grab 2-lane road with grass and come out by a distance of 250, which is 5 tiles from that tram track that I just placed. So that's how it's going to look right now. Looks a little bit strange, but don't worry, we will fix it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to delete this road here that we just placed, the main road. We're going to delete 2 sections of that, and then we're going to come into our medium roads again and grab the 4-lane road with tram tracks. And then with this, we're going to come out by a distance of 1100, which is 11 tiles. You're going to place that in there just like that. It's nice and easy to follow so far, hopefully. Then we're going to grab our 2-lane road with tram tracks. This guy is going to come up again by 700, so he's parallel with this one. And then we're going to imitate that pattern on here. Another 250 with 2-lane road with grass. And then hook them up along the top like that. Okay, then back into our tram roads, and now we're going to switch to the one-way tram track. And we're going to hook these 2 points up together, and that's going to complete the tram loop at this point. Well, I'll explain why we want the one-way here in a moment. You don't want to use the regular one. Only trams can flow down this way. Okay, and then of course back into our medium roads, and then we're just going to grab our 4-lane with decorative grass and hook this guy back up. So the main road is now complete. This is going to be kind of your high street. Okay, you've got some nice looking kind of tram infrastructure here now with the cables passing over the road. Nice little tram junction. Does look quite cool. Now the park life stuff is going to come into play. If you don't have park life, feel free to come in here and just kind of place. The large playground will work really well, but we're going to be using park life to decorate this area. So I'm going to use the city park stuff. You can use any of the parks. You can use the amusement park. Zoo might seem a little bit out of place here, but you know, whatever floats your boat, do what you like. And I'm going to grab a small park main gate, and I'm going to plant this right in the middle. So we have 4 tiles either side of the 2 roads. So you can see now if we come into our zoning, there's 4 tiles here and there's 4 tiles here. So it's right in the middle, perfectly symmetrical. Everyone's happy. Now this park, so park life, the way that a park counts out visitors is by how many walk through the gate. There are going to be entrances into this park that don't pass through a gate, so it will still level up because people will still come through the main gate, but it's just going to level up a lot slower. So it's not a functional park, it's not going to make you loads of money, it really is just for decoration. So if that bothers you, then maybe this isn't for you, but otherwise it's a nice way to kind of focus some buildings around a nice little park asset. So I'm going to grab my park path with decorations, and I'm going to bring it right up to this tram line, and then the same again on this side. If you want to here, you can place the park side gate. It really is kind of up to you if you want to place it like that. I prefer it without, and I'm just going to bring in my park path down here as well. Again, that will count more visitors, but you will have people passing through this gate anyway, so it will slowly receive visitors and eventually level up, but otherwise, you know, it's really just decoration. So now here you can really kind of decorate this area any way you like using a bunch of the park life assets. I like the plazas. The plazas tuck in really nicely here. So say for example if we wanted to place one right here to like parallel to one another, I'm going to place those in. I can maybe get park info booths in here. You can get restrooms. You can do the park cafes. I think I'm going to do the park cafes personally, just because I don't like the way that they look. I'm going to have them right up against the tram line here. Just start to get something that looks a little bit like that. You know, this part of the build you can really just take it any way you like. The climbing frame also fits in perfectly with these little blocks you have here. So I'm going to place those in as close to the path as I can get them. There we go. And then another one on this side as well. Of course, we need to make sure that this area is watered up. There we go. Okay, so if we have a look at the park information tab now, you can see we've hit the entertainment level, so it will definitely go to level 2. And as time passes by, visitors, so as Sims enter through this gate, they'll be counted as visitors. However, they can also enter through the tram line here and through this path. They won't be counted as visitors even if they visit the park assets. So if that's something that bothers you, then you won't be able to kind of build this, but it will still level up. Okay, so we kind of got the main frame in here now. Now we're going to place in our kind of key buildings. So I'm going to use the high school and the public library and also an elementary school as well. Feel free to throw in some of the university assets if you like. And you can throw in the Modern Institute of Technology here. It might be a little big for this build, but you know, everything works. I'm going to grab a public library and place this. Unfortunately, it is off center, so for you symmetry freaks, might irritate you a little bit, but we can integrate a path into that as well. So my public library is going to sit at the head of this park. Again, that comes with the campus DLC. I'm then going to grab the community school. This comes from Green Cities, I think. But you know, use your regular elementary school if you don't have this one. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to place that so kind of the entrance of the school is right opposite these pedestrian crossings here. And then I'm going to come ahead and grab my Institute of Creative Arts. Again, this is added with Green Cities. Again, if you want to, you can just use the regular high school, just like that. You know, it really kind of depends what feel you want to go for. Just place in a couple of school assets around here. I'm going to place this right there, making sure that I leave 4 tiles in between there. So that's going to give me a nice kind of focused little park to place some school assets around. And then what you want to do now is surround all these blocks that we left free with commercial before we hook everything into the road network. So I'm going to now hook this guy up in several places. Obviously we can't here. I'm not going to here either because it's off at an angle. I'm going to leave that on free and hook him up there and then hook him up there. And then what we can do, let's go ahead, just let me mess with Demand Master here real quick so we get some commercial demand. All along here, right through this middle block is going to be commercial, up along here as well, and then along here. Feel free to mix and match office zoning in here if you want. You can maybe take a block out here and put some office space in, it really is up to you. Or you can carry on with residential, entirely depends what you kind of feel you want. And then we're going to place in a couple of little paths. Again, any path you want to use is totally fine, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to turn off all my snapping and go to the grid. When you're kind of linking paths through, a good kind of rule of thumb is you see how we're kind of linking 2 pedestrian crossings here together, so they can cross here, cut straight through and then cross again. You can see if the path was like here, you know, they'd have to cross here, walk down, and cross again. It's not a major difference, but it will affect your efficiency a little bit. So I'm just going to hook the 2 crosswalks together like that. Okay, so I'm going to let this play, guys. I'm going to jump into a little detailing time lapse and throw some nice assets in here. And yeah, we're going to watch this place grow and come to life a little bit more. And then we'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have finished off some decorating, chucked in a whole bunch of kind of little bushes and trees in here to green it up a little bit, use some of the park life, little individual park assets to make a little bit of kind of outdoor food court with some nice lights and signs and stuff. I also decided to carry on expanding the residential grid around it, just so how you can kind of see. It really helps to break up that pattern. You know, you can see it coming through here. It does work really nicely, just to help, you know, give a different shape and a nice new centre for schools and service buildings. You know, feel free to place police stations in here, medical clinics, etc. Whatever you want, just you know, throw in whatever you like. Talking about the tram line, so you can see I've kind of just had a little play with it off camera here. So we need to bring in obviously some tram lines so people can actually use the tram roads. So let's go ahead and drag it up. I'm going to leave a stop probably about here. Now we can see how the tram auto generates its turnaround point. If this tram line here wasn't a one-way, what would happen is that the trams would come straight up this road and come in here, and then they would come back down here and they would cross over one another. And basically having this as a one-way road is just going to avoid the trams crossing one another. It's not a massive issue. Of course it looks kind of, you know, aesthetically better as well to have them flowing in front of the park. But you know, you're going to avoid any future traffic problems. You probably won't get traffic problems in a layout like this anyway. But just to avoid the trams slowing down, they're not going to cross each other's path. So just make this a one-way and you'll make your life a little bit easier. And then obviously drag and drop a stop within the park itself. And then you're going to see this little tram stop generate here. And yeah, so hopefully that helps. That's going to be it. We'll jump into an outro tage now so you can see this place develop and see how it looks at night time with all the nice lights around the park and the schools and stuff, and this new high street that we've built in. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, a like below is very much appreciated. Equally as much if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Thank you so much again for 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, let's carry on growing. And if you have any suggestions, maybe you're stuck for an idea of what to build or where to build in your city, and you can't quite figure out how to break up a grid pattern perhaps, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see if we can put something together for these modular builds to help you out. If you do end up using this, please feel free to send me some screenshots on Twitter. It's always nice to see your guys' builds. Links are in the description below. But otherwise, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the outro tage and some of the detailing. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.